I met my competition at the gym yesterday during my workout, and they are by far the greatest enemy that I will ever face, and that you will face, especially when you're instituting significant change that you want to be long lasting. Now, you probably want to know who he is. Well, I'm going to give you their name, and their name is Comparison. Okay, I'll tell you the story. I'm doing my workout, and I'm really quite happy with my progress. My stamina is increasing. I'm able to have my sessions longer. My technique is, again, beginner, but my technique is starting to develop and feeling pretty good about everything. And then there's this fella. Now, he's been there a couple of times, and he, kind of throws a few punches on the bag and different stuff like that. And I thought, okay, well, that's fine. Well, yesterday he did more than that. Now he's working out on the bag, like the long bag. Well, he starts throwing kicks. And I'm looking at this guy, and I'm looking at the kicks, and I'm looking at the form and at the technique and at the power and how he's throwing them really effortlessly. And he's very low key, like he's not like, look at me, I'm the next Jean-Claude Van Damme kind of thing. He's just working out on the bag. And I look at him, and I look at me, and I go, oh God, I suck. And it's like all these, I'm doing pretty good, and I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. It's like, oh, okay, well, I think I'm just going to, put my gloves on, buy and sell, and I'm just going to go and watch TV. Now, we've all been there, and I've been there in the past as well. And when I say that comparison is my greatest enemy, it really, really is. Because we all do it, especially when we're stepping into something new. Because as I talked about in one of my past episodes about how, a true master understands the value of whatever the craft is, understands the value of looking foolish, because you need to look foolish, cumbersome, awkward, doing it all wrong before you can refine the skill. And that's all great. But then you come into this enemy called comparison, and we all do it. So then here's what happens. I see this, keeping it real. I see this and I go, oh man, what am I thinking? See, and here's what happens then. Now this kicks in, right? Now this kicks in and says, you're not doing really well at all, right? Kind of hearkening back to my floundering walrus analogy. And then the funniest thing happened was, because I was kind of done my workout anyway, so I kind of wrap up. And then for the rest of the day, it was, I don't really feel like going back to the gym tomorrow. And up to that point, I was watching videos and looking at techniques and studying this and thinking about it and going through my technique and seeing how I change and how I grow and different things like that. I didn't feel like doing any of that. I just didn't feel like it's all that enthusiasm, like all that momentum just went poof, and is gone. And I think this is where, I know this is where momentum is something that needs to be nurtured. And it needs to be managed. And you, me, need to take leadership in the direction that we want to go, because momentum will follow us. But it needs to have us as the leader, because we need momentum to power through that enemy called comparison. But momentum needs the leader. And the leader is the voice in your head, just like the voice that's telling you, what's the point? You'll never get there, all that stuff, right? The video I did about beating time in its own game, right? It'll take too long, on and on and on. That's where you need to take your I am voice, right? Your speaking voice, and you need to choose to keep going anyway. because it's crazy how quickly you can lose that momentum. But at the same time, it's amazing how quickly you can get it back. But momentum needs something to flow into. It needs that leader. It needs something to give it direction. And that's where your choices are. That's where discipline comes in. That's where being a warrior comes in, is you go, okay, I am feeling bleh, but we're going this way. We are going this way. Yes, I see you, comparison, but I don't care because we're doing it anyway. We're going forward anyway. And then what happens is momentum comes back like that. Where was it before? Well, it was always there. It's just for at least that moment in my mind, I wasn't providing the leadership to it. You provide the leadership, momentum will follow. And don't compare. I know we all do it, but maybe more importantly, recognize when you are, and then you can consciously choose strategies to just push through it, because it's very thin, right? It's very brittle. It seems insurmountable, but it's very brittle, and you just kind of give it one of those and it shatters and away you go again. But that's up to you. That's where the power of choosing comes into play. That's where you saying, I don't care. I don't care whether that person's better than me, because there's going to be somebody that's worse than you, and we know all that stuff. But what matters is I don't care. I'm going that way. That's the mark of a warrior in training.